Dear Dan is how you might address a question to one of America's cutting-edge advice columnists. Erin Moriarty of 48 Hours has paid him a visit.
Sex is supposed to have a purpose. It's supposed to say something. It's supposed to say, I love you.
For nearly 50 years,
A great many teenagers don't think anything of going all the way anymore.
she was the grande dame of advice columnists.
I know of what is going on in people's lives.
Ann Landers.
We will need 4 volunteers from the audience who want lap dances.
But times change. Today, the lost and the lovelorn
You have to look inside and figure out what you think is fun and exciting.
are turning for advice
Have a 3-way.
to this straight-talking gay man.
Dudes are dumb. And sometimes the dumb is genuine and sometimes the dumb is strategic. This is my office. This is where the tragic happens.
His name is Dan Savage, and at his office in Seattle, he gets inspiration from Ann Landers' desk.
This is my prized possession.
Your prized possession.
Yes.
He bought it at auction just months after her death in 2002.
Do you think when you're responding to some of these questions, Ann Landers is probably turning over in her grave?
No, I don't, because I think we're very much, very similar in our approaches. You know, she was a kicky Midwestern gal, and I'm a kicky Midwestern gal too. Next question. I'm a 25-year-old female. I started feeling attracted to girls in college. 1 year ago, I started feeling attracted to men again and lost interest in women. What is going on? I think the operative word there was college.
He does live shows and podcasts.
I'm wondering about open relationships.
As well as a weekly newspaper column he's been writing for almost 25 years. It's syndicated in more than 40 papers. Thousands seek his advice. And one of his busiest days is not Valentine's, but the day after.
It was the letters on February 15th that drove me crazy, because people would write me and say, you know, we went out to dinner, we did this, we did that, we came home and he fell right asleep, or we fell right asleep and we didn't make love. Therefore, obviously, there's a real problem in our relationship.
Which led him to one piece of advice.
Don't go out to dinner and then go home to have sex. Have sex, then go out to dinner. And you're much less likely to be writing me a tear-stained email, not that that's possible, on February 15th.
Savage grew up in Chicago, the third of 4 children in a strict Catholic family, and was inspired by his own mother.
I was the gay, sort of mama's boy at home kid, and I would be there within earshot while the ladies were all pouring out their marital problems and my mother was giving them advice. The Bible. We'll just talk about the Bible for a second.
Savage isn't afraid to court controversy.
We can learn to ignore the bull in the Bible.
He's enraged many conservatives with his public disdain of the Bible's treatment of homosexuality. And he inflames others with his views on cheating.
You think adultery's okay?
No.
Yes.
I think there are times and circumstances under which adultery is okay. And cheating may be the more loving thing to do.
When one half of a couple loses interest in sex, Savage insists cheating is preferable to divorce, especially for couples with children.
The standard advice to the partner who would still like to be having sex is, oh, you have to divorce that person. You have to traumatize your children. That's the right thing to do. I look at that situation and think, between divorce and cheating, when you're not really cheating your partner out of anything that your partner wants or values, your partner doesn't want sex with you. I think cheating is the least worst option.
Isn't, though, monogamy the ideal?
Yes, disastrously so. It is the ideal.
Why do you say disastrously so? I mean, isn't that what we should all want to go for?
That's what we're all told we should want, and we all fall short. Not all of us. My problem with monogamy is we're told that if we're in love, we won't want to sleep with anybody else. The truth is, if we're in love and we make a monogamous commitment, that means we will refrain from sleeping with other people. We still want to sleep with other people.
He describes his own long relationship and 10-year marriage to Terry Miller as monogamish.
There needed to be a word in between monogamous and non-monogamous. And so monogamish, I thought, kind of nailed it. It was closer to our reality, our lived experience, which we were much more monogamous than not. We were mostly monogamous. We were monogamish.
They have an adopted son, DJ, who's now 17.
Does your son read your column?
I mean, would you read
Your dad's sex advice column?
advice column?
Maybe times haven't really changed that much at all.
The focus that people have constantly on what they're not getting in their relationship blinds them to what they are getting in their relationship. There's good and bad. You have to take both.
Like Ann Landers, Dan Savage
And I'm always telling people, do this.
just wants to mend broken hearts.
You sound like you really enjoy this, Dick.
I do. I love it. It's a great gig. This advice, people ask me when I'm going to stop. I'm like, no, I'm Ann Landers, man. They're going to pry this advice column out of my cold, dead hands one day. It's a wonderful gig.